The Essays of Francis Bacon of Travail. Travail is the younger sort, in a part of education, in the elder a part of experience. He that travaileth into a country before he had some entrance into the language, goeth to school and not to travail. That young man travail under some tutor or grave servant, I allow well, so that he be such a one that hath the language, and hath been in the country before, whereby he may be able to tell them what things are worthy to be seen in the country where they go, what acquaintances they are to seek, what exercises or discipline the place yieldeth, for else young men shall go hooded and look abroad little. It is a strange thing that in sea voyages, where there is nothing to be seen but sky and sea, men should make diaries, but in land travel, wherein so much is to be observed, for the most part, they admit it, as if chance were fitter to be registered than observation. Let diaries therefore be brought in use. The things to be seen and observed are the courts of princes, especially when they give audience to ambassadors, the courts of justice while they sit and hear causes, and so of consistories ecclesiastic, the churches and the monasteries with the monuments which are therein extant, the walls and fortifications of cities and towns, and so the havens and harbours, antiquities and ruins, libraries, colleges, disputations and lectures, where any are, shipping and navies, houses and gardens of state and pleasure, near great cities, armories, arsenals, magazines, exchanges, bourses, warehouses, exercises of horsemanship, fencing, training of soldiers, and the like, comedies such whereunto the better sort of persons do resort, treasuries of jewels and robes, cabinets and rarities, and to conclude whatsoever is memorable in the places where they go. After all which the tutors or servants ought to make diligent enquiry. As for triumphs, masques, feasts, weddings, funerals, capital executions, and such shows, men need not be put in mind of them. Yet are they not to be neglected. If you will have a young man to put his travel into a little room, and in short time to gather much, this you must do. First, as was said, he must have some entrance into the language before he goeth. Then he must have such a servant or tutor as knoweth the country, as was likewise said. Let him carry with him also some card or book describing the country where he travelleth, which will be a good key to his enquiry. Let him keep also a diary. Let him not stay long in one city or town, more or less as the place deserveth, but not long. Nay, when he stayeth in one city or town, let him change his lodging from one end and part of the town to another, which is a great adamant of acquaintance. Let him sequester himself from the company of his countrymen, and diet in such places, where there is good company of the nation, where he travelleth. Let him, upon his removes from one place to another, procure recommendation to some person of quality residing in the place whither he removeth, that he may use his favour in those things he desireth to see or know. Thus he may abridge his travel with much profit. And for the acquaintance which is to be sought in travel, that which is most of all profitable is acquaintance with the secretaries and employed men of ambassadors, for so in travelling in one country he shall suck the experience of many. Let him also see and visit eminent persons in all kinds which are of great name abroad, that he may be able to tell how the life agreeth with the fame. For quarrels they are with care and discretion to be avoided. They are commonly for mistresses, healths, place, and words. And let a man beware how he keepeth company with choleric and quarrelsome persons, for they will engage him into their own quarrels. When a traveller returneth home, let him not leave the countries where he hath travelled altogether behind him, but maintain a correspondence by letters with those of his acquaintance, which are of most worth. And let his travel appear rather in his discourse than in his apparel, or gesture. And in his discourse let him be rather advised in his answers than forwards to tell stories. And let it appear that he doth not change his country manners for those of foreign parts, but onely prick in some flowers of that he hath learned abroad into the customs of his own country.